everybody. So, as you may or may not know, for the past few weeks, I've been watching through Star Wars Rebels for the first time. And you can watch my previous 3 videos where I talk about the previous 3 seasons by clicking there. And today is the finale. The final season, Season 4. Let's do this. Hey, did you notice I'm finally wearing the shirt that's been in the thumbnails for the previous 3 videos? That's totally a coincidence, and I totally didn't just wear the shirt specifically to make that joke. It's funny because I actually did wear the shirt specifically to make that joke, and you might think that it's a little bit weird that I always specifically wear a shirt just to make a joke, but I think quarantine's getting to me. Anyway, Star Wars Rebels Season 4, the final season, the epic finale to an epic series. And man, it did not disappoint. So, the season starts off with a 2-part episode taking place on Mandalore, and we finally get to see what terrible things Sabine did while working with the Empire. A weapon that targets Beskar, the metal that Mandalorian armor is made out of, and destroys it, along with the person wearing it. So, Sabine, the rebels, and a few Mandalorians, including Bo-Katan, Sabine's sister from the Clone Wars, have to infiltrate an Imperial base and destroy the weapon. But before she destroys it, Sabine changes it so that it targets Stormtrooper armor. So I assume she changed it to plastic because that's what I imagine Stormtrooper armor is made out of. And the reason she does this is because the evil Imperial Mandalorian leader wears Stormtrooper armor instead of Beskar in order to pledge his allegiance to the Empire. But Bo-Katan helps Sabine realize that if she uses it to target Stormtroopers, she's no better than the Empire using it to target Mandalorians. So she destroys the weapon, killing all the Stormtroopers in an explosion. And because Bo-Katan helped her realize this lesson, Sabine decides to give her the Darksaber, saying,
"It came to me so I could pass it to you."
I'm sorry, but isn't that the same logic that Peter Parker used to decide to give Tony's glasses to Mysterio? Also, I really can't wait to see how the Darksaber went from this to this. Anyway, next in the season, we have the return of Saw Gerrera. And I have to say, how much time passed since the last time we saw him? Like seriously, how did he go from this to this? I don't know, but he saves Sabine, Ezra, and Chopper from a satellite dish and then promptly flies away with them.
Wait, you saved her and now you're running off with her? Like, oh, I have very mixed feelings about you!
He wants them to help him with a mission. And this mission is to stop an Imperial delivery of a giant green Kyber crystal. Now, why would the Empire be transporting a giant green Kyber crystal? Maybe the Death Star? I love how this series occasionally alludes to the Death Star, but they do it in such a clever way so that the characters don't know about it because they obviously can't until Rogue One, but we know about it. So like in Ghost of Geonosis, they have Click-Clack draw the Death Star on the ground. We, the audience, know exactly what this is, but the characters don't know. They just think that it's the egg. And then, of course, in this episode, they have the giant green Kyber crystal, which we know is for the Death Star, but the characters don't find that out. So anyway, the Rebels are reunited, and the remainder of the season takes place on Lothal. I love how they started off the series with the first season being mostly on Lothal, and then they took a bit of a break from Lothal for seasons 2 and 3. But then, for the final 4th season, it ends where it began. Back on Lothal. First, I want to talk about the Lothwolves. The Lothwolves have a very deep connection to the Force and can even pass through the world between worlds, which allows them to transport from one side of the planet to the other, and which we'll get back to later. Now, I think we should talk about Kanan and Hera. For most of the season before this, Kanan and Hera were just together, but their relationship wasn't really developed much more than that. I mean, it was just a known fact. They're together, they're a couple, and it wasn't really developed any more than that. But this season actually develops this relationship. Like, I'm pretty sure in previous seasons, they never even kissed. But in this season, they do, after being interrupted twice.
We better get moving.
Yeah. Gotta get moving.
Hey, excuse me.
Also, I just want to say that the episode where they kiss, called The Kindred, has 2 of my favorite Zeb moments.
Look what I got. Oh, guess I should have mentioned I stole the transport. This is good. When it gets strange like this, it's a good thing.
How have you people stayed alive so long?
Now, back to Kanan and Hera. So Hera ends up going back to the Rebel base to get more rebels for an attack on the Imperial base on Lothal, but again, Thrawn is too smart for them, and they get shot down pretty much immediately. So now Hera and the remaining rebels that she brought are on the run from the Empire. Kanan tries to go save her, but he is stopped by a Lothwolf. He can't be the one to rescue her because he is in love with her and he might make a mistake. His emotions may cloud his judgment. So Hera is captured. Now Kanan is in a bit of a pickle. No, that's not really what I meant, but okay. He can't save the woman he loves because, well, she's the woman that he loves. So what does he do? He meditates, tells Ezra to come up with a plan, cuts his hair, shaves his beard, no, not his beard, and then comes back ready to save Hera. Now, I think we need to take a moment of silence for Kanan's beard. Anyway, I guess both of us are just very big in Hera management because they let him through this time. Actually, it's probably because 1, they can't fly, and 2, it was Ezra's plan, not Kanan's, so I think that's the stipulation. Anyway, Kanan saves Hera, and I think it is time for a new segment that I like to call Lovebirds on Lothal.
Wait. I have to tell you something. I hate your hair.
I brought you a present.
A present? Kanan, you haven't got me a present since we first met.
I know, but you'll like this one.
Kanan, this is mine.
I know.
Then it's not really a present? I am not letting you go this time.
I hope not. It's a long way down. Just keep us in the air as long as you can.
What choice do I have?
That's the spirit. That was one of your better crashes.
Kanan Jarrus, you know I never crash. I have
Very exciting landings. Thanks for reminding me. Come on.
And this brings us to probably the saddest moment of the entire series. Yes, even sadder than Kanan shaving his beard. Kanan Jarrus sacrifices himself to save the rebels. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this moment, this death, hit me hard. Like, I think that this is one of the saddest character deaths I've ever seen. Usually I kind of see them coming and they don't really hit as hard, but this one I did not see coming at all and just, wow. I mean, I guess I feared he had to die at some point because he doesn't come up later, but I figured it would be in, like, the final episode or something. So yeah, Kanan Jarrus died to save his family. And now it's time for the World Between Worlds. The World Between Worlds is, well, a world between worlds. It's outside of time. It has portals everywhere where you can go through them and travel to different times. I love how they connected Mortis to this because that's one of the best arcs of Clone Wars. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway, while in the World Between Worlds, Ezra saves Ahsoka when she's fighting Vader back in Season 2. Then Ezra gets the idea to save Kanan. But Ahsoka stops him because if he takes him out of that time, then he's not there to save everybody and then they all die. And then Palpatine finds them. It's always Palpatine. Will it ever not be Palpatine? Then Ahsoka goes back to her time, and I guess is stuck on Malachor, which is why she doesn't come back later. And Ezra also leaves the World Between Worlds. And then they close the door to the World Between Worlds, so that way it can never be used as a plot device ever again. Until, of course, they needed to, and in that case, they'll certainly come up with something. And now, we're finally at the final 2 episodes. I think that these episodes do a good job in bringing back everybody from the series back to do 2 final episodes. And yes, that includes Hondo. You know what? Let's do one last Pirate Proverbs with Hondo.
At your service. And mine too, of course.
Talks a lot for a smuggler.
Pirate? That is pirate, my dear. So much more romantic than a word that... never mind. I have done this many times, and I've only been struck... I have done this many times. Once again, Hondo comes through. No need to thank me. No! They can fly. Of course it worked, my friends. Just look at Melch. He's positively magnetic.
Oh, and how about one that pulls on your heartstrings a little bit?
Adam, for that boy, there is nothing I would not do.
So, the rebels come back from the Jedi Temple in the World Between Worlds and start planning to free Lothal from the Empire. Except Ryder's all like...
That's impossible!
However, they decide to do it anyway, but oh no, Ryder turned on them, except not really, because that was all part of the plan. Anyway, they do the rest of their plan, which is to bring all the Imperial troopers back to the base, trap them, and then blow it up. Escaping before blowing it up, of course. However, Thrawn shows up, and the rebels realize that in trapping the Imperials, they've actually enabled Thrawn to attack Lothal's citizens without any Imperial casualties. Thrawn's only request, though, in order to stop, is that Ezra comes up to his ship. Hera refuses to let him go at first, but he ends up going anyway with the help of Sabine. Which I have to say is such a really sad, emotional scene that's just, So good. Then Thrawn brings him to, guess who? Palpatine. Again, will it ever not be Palpatine? Now I have to say that Palpatine, just like Anakin and Obi-Wan, is very poorly designed in this series. Like, why is every single Clone Wars character in Rebels just so poorly designed, except for Ahsoka and Rex? Anyway, Palpatine offers Ezra the chance to meet his parents in exchange for his new friends, his new family. Ezra refuses, fights some Red Guards, and confronts Thrawn. It is at this moment that the Purgles come back into play. The Purgles were introduced to us in Season 2 as these giant whale creatures with tentacles that can travel through hyperspace. And ever since Season 2, I have been patiently waiting for the Purgles to come back into play. Because I knew every single episode mattered. There was no episode that had something that doesn't come back into play later. They were the last thing that needed to be paid off. And man, do they pay them off in the final episode. They come in, they start attacking the ships, then they grab onto the ship that Ezra and Thrawn are in, and they go into hyperspace. Where did they go? Where are Ezra and Thrawn now? What the heck just happened? Those are all questions that even after the 2 years since the show has ended, have still yet to be answered. Anyway, now that Thrawn and all of his ships are gone, the only Imperials left on Lothal are on the ground, which the Rebels take care of pretty easily, freeing Lothal. I love how they made the main focus of the series freeing Lothal. That was a very smart move because they obviously can't defeat the Empire since this doesn't happen until Return of the Jedi. I think that was a very smart and satisfying way to give this series a goal that it was working towards. Now, let's talk about the epilogue. The epilogue takes place post Return of the Jedi in the Empire. Sabine narrates it, saying that Hera now has a son named Jacen Syndulla, obviously Kanan is the father. Agent Kallus and Zeb are now buddies, and Agent Kallus has even been accepted as a Lasat. Also, Agent Kallus, what happened to him? I mean, I was hoping that they would use him more in the season now that he's with the Rebels, but nope, he's just kinda there. And the series ends with Sabine saying that she is now looking for Ezra with the help of, wait for it, Ahsoka. I guess apparently Sabine or somebody saved Ahsoka from Malachor. But my question is, how the heck did she survive on Malachor for like a few years? Like, what? I mean, is there food there? Does the Sith Temple have like a all-you-can-eat buffet somewhere? I don't know. Hopefully all those questions and more will be answered sometime soon. Maybe possibly in The Mandalorian. But in the meantime, comment your thoughts below. Anyway, like, subscribe, and check out my previous videos that talk about the previous seasons of Star Wars Rebels. With that said, that's a wrap.